What's the one spot no one likes to show off in their kitchen? I'm betting it's probably your Tupperware drawer. It's a scary place.
My God.
But I'm gonna help you make it not so scary. We all have the issue, so many food storage containers, and there's not really an easy way to do it just because you have so many different sizes and the lids. I'm gonna tell you, it does not have to be that hard. First things first, pull everything out.
I think I'm actually gonna vacuum this out really quick because it's kind of gross.
And make sure everything has a match. Lids go with the container.
These are the simple rules you have to follow.
A lot of us are afraid to throw anything away. My grandmother and my aunt growing up in Louisiana, every time I would open up their fridge, always had a ton of butter, weird containers, cottage cheese. I'm like, how much cottage cheese and butter does one need? The secret was, it wasn't actually that inside the container. So it was always a fun guessing game, like, oh, what's inside this?
What's that smell?
Let's just contain the containers a little bit more. We don't need to store that much food storage. Also check for food stains. Tomato is the worst, right?
They're at the top of the worst.
So if they are overly done, really past saving, go ahead, get rid of those.
Get out of here.
You also want to check the quality of the container. If it's cracked, if it has any sort of scratches or dents, just say goodbye. We're starting fresh here.
Get out of here.
You need to respect the limits of the space that you have given for Tupperware.
All right, I've got my helper here. This is where we keep all of our containers. It's right under the oven. It's a very large drawer, but this is it. This is the only space I have for this storage.
Don't keep everything just because it's available. I like to keep the lids underneath the containers and stack those within each other, kind of like a Russian doll. Can I say Russian doll? Let me say that again. All nestled into each other. Then around all of that is where I store the containers that with the odd shapes. I do like to keep a variety of sizes on hand. Sometimes you have a cookout and you've got leftover things, you're gonna need a bigger size. But I don't like to keep too many because I'm not using that stuff every day. And if there is a rare occasion, I'll either go get a product that fits what I'm needing, but it is not something that I hold on to year round all the time because it's not something that I use all the time. If you are storing your food storage containers on a shelf, have you ever stacked things a little too high and then they all come tumbling out of the cabinet? I understand that is not fun at all. So an easy way to kind of keep them contained is to put a bin on the shelf. One of my favorite products to use for this is something I've talked about a ton before, but the simple white plastic bins from Container Store. They are inexpensive.
They are great to just plop in maybe a smaller container, and now you have a place to kind of corral that and drop it in your drawer, set it, and forget it.
You're just gonna pile everything in there, keep the lids to one side, put the food container inside, and that way you can stack it up a little bit higher, but they are corralled within a wall barrier. So you can pull the whole bin down, find what you need, and then boop, pop it right back on the shelf.
Boop, boop, beep, boop.
If you are using a cabinet that is down low, an easy solution to keep from trying to reach in there for all those lids is to put something over the door, and then you just slide the lids in vertically, and then you can kind of look for what you're needing and then find the bottom that goes with it pretty easily. Another easy solution to help create zones within your drawer is to use a drawer divider.
This one is an OXO brand, and it came from Amazon, and I love it because you just adjust the size by lifting that tab up and then squishing it down makes it lock in place.
I personally have not been able to use this because I cannot find one that is long enough to fit inside my drawer. Thank goodness I have a giant drawer, but that is one issue that I'm dealing with. If you're not wanting to spend a lot of money, great, you don't have to. The dollar store is a great option to get smaller containers. You can find any shape and size at the dollar store, and it's an easy solution to manage the mess. I've also found some great pegboards on Amazon. I will put the link below for these. You set the size for what you want, and then it creates zones as well. You can also use pan dividers here. Lids fit easily inside those slots. Tuck the actual container down below it, nestle those into one another, and then you'll be able to easily find lid with bottom. The important thing to remember here is to respect the limits that you've given for your container storage, and also you don't need a ton of each different size. Give yourself some options. You don't need a ton. If you're interested in more areas to organize in your kitchen, I've got a great fridge organization video right here. Go ahead and give it a watch.
We should watch it.
Happy sorting.